Raiders of the Lost Ark is directed by Steven Spielberg and screenwritten by Lawrence Kasdan with a story created by George Lucas. This film tells the story of an archaeologist named Indiana Jones who embarks on an adventure to the Ark of the Covenant and is trying to beat the Nazis from obtaining it so that they could have world domination. Indiana Jones is one of my favorite franchises of all time. The first film especially, I think is a cult classic. The sequels I think are all great, but today let's just talk about this first film that started it all. Now, this film is heavily inspired by Western serials that Spielberg and Lucas used to watch back then. They cited that as a source of inspiration. You could definitely feel that throughout every shot and frame of this movie. The action set pieces here in this movie are absolutely incredible. The characters are all memorable. The story itself is investing and engaging. There's barely a moment to waste. This movie is the quintessential action adventure. Such likable characters and great actors. Harrison Ford as Indiana Jones is absolutely perfect. I cannot imagine any other actor playing this character as well as Harrison Ford did. And what he brings to the table is really interesting. He brings the action adventure side to the character that every action star should. But what a lot of action stars back then seemed to lack is a sense of vulnerability. Apart from the great movies like Die Hard or RoboCop, every other disposable action movie of the 80s have really invincible heroes that are unstoppable. To me, there should be a sense of vulnerability. The hero should have some sort of struggle, and Indy in this film has a lot. This connects back to my talk of the action sequences being incredible briefly, and let me explain why. Indiana Jones goes through hell in these action sequences. He has to overcome a lot of challenges and is definitely not perfect. In fact, quite often he gets his ass whooped, or by the end of an adventure, like said in the opening, in which he tries to uncover an artifact only to get that artifact stolen from him. He is always overcome by challenges thrown at him, like being thrown over the front of a truck and getting almost ran over, or getting punched by a big Russian guy over and over again, only to escape by the skin of his teeth. There are a lot of moments in which the action sequences are really hard on for Indy, but that also makes me like the character even more. Now, it's not just his vulnerability in the action sequences and his determination to overcome these challenges is why I love Indy, or why we all love him. It's his love of archaeology and the character he is. This is a man that loves what he does and is really passionate about archaeology, though he comes at it at a more realistic point of view, as he just sees these artifacts as artifacts that need to be preserved and studied. It's not once he gets to the Ark of the Covenant closer to the film and discovers more about what this Ark really is, in which he really discovers that there's more to this thing than what meets the eye, and perhaps the legends told about it is true. Indy discovers a lot of things throughout this journey and learns new stuff about other people and himself and what he loves, which creates a lot of interesting dynamics with characters, especially with the character of Marion, who is basically the love interest for Indy in this film. These two share a history with one another, and one that is pretty rough, but there is still a sign of respect shown at a certain level, at least, between the two characters, in which makes Marion willing to help Indy out in this adventure. And it's throughout this adventure in which their differences get put aside slowly, and they start to form a relationship once again, and by the end they do eventually get together. And that side of the story is also what helps these characters feel a whole lot relatable. This is basically an everyman archaeologist kinda. I mean, not a lot of college teachers are like action adventure heroes, but he's one of the more realistic ones, as he is not invincible. He always has to push through these moments and tries to escape to the skin of his teeth, as I said. This is a man that is willing to do whatever it takes in order to complete the mission and accomplish his goal. Now, Spielberg's directing also, and how he helms these sequences, is great. Not just the action, but the discussions. Like the scene in which Indiana Jones is sitting at a table sulking because he thought that Marion is dead after they escaped a bunch of people trying to kill them. He's sitting in the table and there's like a monkey there and people around, but one of the bad guys is now going up to him, just spitting on his face some details that gets him angry about the mission and what's really going on, and how Indy had no chance to win. And it's just one long take of the antagonist just talking down to our hero, and you can see the hero out of focus, just getting even madder and madder. Just filmmaking details like that is what helped this film feel so authentic and so engaging. The filmmaking on display and how these action sequences are also filmed, I'll discuss that now. There's no shaky cam, there's no quick cuts. It's a lot of wide takes of the environments that the characters are set in, and the action and how it's choreographed felt hard. Also, I gotta give props to the makeup team in this film. The blood effects, the sweat, the dust and dirt and sand of the desert and everything, and how it's on the characters and how they look dirty. It just makes these sequences also feel real intense. I know I'm going on about the action sequences, but it's really the standout of this film. But that's not to say that this film doesn't have a great story or good pacing and filmmaking. I think the pacing is absolutely perfect. The opening scene sets up the hero very well as a mysterious figure, and then we gradually see him be a bit of a coward. I mean, that opening scene basically gives us everything we need to know about the hero and who he really is, and sets up everything that the story is going to have throughout. An artifact that the hero is going after, and the villain catching up to Indy after that same artifact. All around danger is looming. Then it sets to the next scene in which the actual story starts to unfold. We still get to see a little bit of the hero still doing his own thing, and we get a look into his personal life, and then we start the plot, and then we head on into the adventure, meet a few characters that'll be part of the story, then the real action hits, yada yada yada. I'm not going to get into that. I mean, if you all probably have seen the movie already. This film, to me, goes at a good pace, and the story is not hard to follow. It's really engaging and tight. It's well-paced, well-edited also. The editing here is great, especially that one Russian kill, the editing in that, and how it cuts immediately to the shot of the blood on the plane. That always gets me. Or just how long the shots can linger. I mean, sometimes editing is good when you can't see it. The amount of long takes here and long shots and how they linger on characters trying to escape danger is just perfect. Guys, Raiders of the Lost Ark is a great film. I can hardly think of any problems. The music is also incredible. I mean, it's John Williams. I mean, I cannot think of this film being any good without John Williams' score. I mean, his score is what makes this movie as good as it is. Like how Jaws' score is what helped the movie make it as good as it is, or Jurassic Park, or any Steven Spielberg movie. His collaborations with John Williams have been absolutely perfect, and this is no exception. Raiders of the Lost Ark is a great movie. It's one that I highly recommend. It's one of the best action-adventure movies, and I'm going to give Raiders of the Lost Ark an A+. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for watching this first review on my new movie review channel. I hope you guys enjoy it. I'm going to try and get more into depth on these movies and discuss more about the filmmaking and directing as much as I can in these reviews, because this is what I want to do in my life. This is what I study a lot. I'm trying to become a filmmaker, and having a movie review channel I hope is what could help me get into the industry and just to express my love of film to you guys and discuss movies for you guys. It's going to be a whole lot of fun in the future. I know it. Thank you guys so much for watching. As I said, please leave a like, subscribe, comment, and I will see you guys next time.